Hello, welcome to Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Red Rescue Team, my first Pokemon Mystery Dungeons game in like a decade, so thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy this playthrough. Every Pokemon Mystery Dungeons game starts with a personality test. I get timid, so for this I am Cyndaquil. Then I choose a Pokemon for my boyfriend. He only knows Pikachu, so that's what he gets. He is John the Pikachu. I wake up next to John the Pikachu. He asks who I am and I say I'm a human, so I give him my human name, Ty. We are then approached by a giant butterfly asking us to save its baby, and we are called to action. After struggling around with the controls for a moment, we finally make our way throughout the dungeon and we go and rescue the little baby worm. I return this worm to its mother and or father, and for this I feel like a hero, and John the Pikachu gives me a house. So I then decide on a team name. I go with Pokier Club because why not? And then I fall asleep in my coziest new house, enjoying my life as a homeowner and a Pokemon. But a strange feeling encompasses my body and I'm called towards my mailbox immediately. I find John the Pikachu loitering outside and I confront him about this. He then immediately goes to search through my mailbox, which is another crime, but he finds nothing. Then I go to look myself and I find a letter. In this letter, some Magnemites are asking us to assist them. They have been stuck together in some unholy abomination, and it is our duty to save them from this wretched destiny. We find our friends outside and we head into the cave. Here we go throughout the cave, just quickly working our way through it, not very difficult, and then we find the Magnemites, which we need to execute. And by execute, I mean return to their friends, where I am met with this great line: "Rejoice, our bodies are separated." We are then asked if the Magnemite wants to join us, but we have no home for him, so we reject his ass. I then fall asleep and I have a wet, weird green dream, and I spend the next day trying to forget about whatever the hell that was. I then wake up and, of course, I am immediately called towards my mailbox once again. I find nothing, and then John the loitering Pikachu comes to join in my disappointment. He says he will make me feel better and we head off into town together. So in each Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, there is a little town which offers services like a shop and storage and a bank, as well as linking, which allows you to link moves together, which is actually my favorite feature from the game. I think it is actually pretty cool, as well as a storage for your extra items that you pick up. So we go off into the town and Gamer Instinct immediately calls me up north, where I find this suspicious looking Whiscash. If you know, you know. I decide to put my suspicions to the side at first. I just walk around his home wondering what in the bourgeoisie is going on. Why does he get this entire area for himself? It is even called Whiscash Pond. We then head off to the right side, where we find this hideous little house that looks like a dead Pelipper infested with birds, and a job bulletin board. Pikachu informs me that in order to keep my house, I will have to work for it. How unfortunate. And we head off to this cool looking little building, but we are not allowed to enter yet, unfortunately. So we go off to adventure. We go through Thunderwave Cave, and here I decide to turn my phone to the side, and it looks really bad, so just ignore it for a second. That night I have a wet, weird green dream, and traumatizing. The following morning, I try to sleep in a little bit, but an intruder breaks into my house, once again asking me to save their baby. This request has me conflicted, but we do it regardless. Sorry, once again, ignore just this on the side. None of these Pokemon want to join our team, how unfortunate. And yeah, just trust me, we completed the mission, I just forgot to record it. Anyways, heading outside, I find Pikachu, of course, waiting. Then a Pelipper comes over to take a shit in my mailbox to give us some mail. After accepting some jobs both from my mailbox and the job bulletin board on the other side of the island, we work our way through the town, and Wigglytuff is here. I love Wigglytuff. He's one of the main characters of the previous game I played, and with him here, he unlocks friend area. So now we have somewhere to home our Magnemite teammate. I completely forget about this, however, and we go off into the tiny woods. This is a super easy level. These are all extremely low, so we find what we're looking for, which is an Elekid that has somehow been trapped by bugs and or plants. We send them home using magic, I guess, and we finish the dungeon. For this, we get like 5 points. Wow. Pikachu says we did a great job, even though we literally once again only got like 5 points, so I don't know if it really was such a good job. The next morning, I wake up, and once again, what's the first thing on my mind? Of course, it is my mailbox. So we run outside. There, Pikachu is already waiting, of course, how surprising. And the Pelipper comes over to give us our mail. We work through them, accepting some missions, and then we head off into town to check out the shop. I talk with Kecleon, which, by the way, I pronounce as Kekelian for some strange reason, but I'm trying to keep that in mind. We talk to the other Kecleon, which, by the way, I think this one looks super cool. And I purchase an orb from them, because in this game you have some missions where you have to deliver items. If you don't have the item, you will not be able to complete the mission. I find this little Bellsprout just jiving in town. And after that riveting performance, I head over to the link shop. For some strange reason, I decide to link 2 of my worst moves together, and I will eventually completely forget about this, and I will wonder what the hell ever happened to my link. But some things never change. I then go over to Magnemite's really great storage unit, where he is apparently waiting for a grin despite being toothless and mouthless. And then I am thrown into this map sequence that, for some reason, I was just like completely caught off guard by this, and I wasn't sure how to use this map in order to get to the location I wanted to get to. So I just exit and take the normal route because new things are scary. We go back to Thunderwave Cave because apparently everybody likes just dicking around in here, and we work our way throughout the cave. In this cave, we have some missions, and a Rattata asks to join us. I reject his ass. Then we continue, and I save this Voltorb using ball-saving magic. We continue our mission throughout Thunderwave Cave, killing more Pokemon, which is for some reason okay in this society. And then we find the other Voltorb, and we also save it using ball-saving magic. Then heading out, we get our points. I think this was like 20 points total, so yeah, it's gonna take a while in this game. Then back home in my cozy little house, I of course am drawn outside, but Pikachu's not there. He's late, so this must be a cutscene. And so in this cutscene, we meet this rowdy bunch of characters who proceed to sneer at my house, including calling it depressing, which is pretty funny, and then they fuck up our mailbox. Pikachu is enraged by this, but he does nothing, so that's great. Fortunately, the early mailbox bandit doesn't get the worm because here comes Pelipper with our daily mail, so we are still able to do our jobs regardless, thank goodness. After accepting some of the jobs in the mail, we then head over to Mount Steel, where we will be working our way throughout this mountain, killing a bunch of creatures and picking up some items and doing some small missions, including saving this Pidgey. Zap. We then continue throughout the cave. There is another Voltorb. This is where you have to deliver an item which I did not have, so yeah, that happened. But fortunately, on the same floor, there was the item that I needed, so I just quickly grabbed it, handed it over, and Bob's your uncle. Pikachu said we did a great job. I agree. And that is my day.